Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the fascinating world of preventive and social medicine. Okay, we're going to do something really incredible here. We're zooming all the way out from the microscopic, invisible life energy of a single person straight to the macroscopic health of our entire global population. It's a massive, interconnected system, like a giant puzzle, and we're going to break the whole shebang down. So let's start with a really basic but absolutely crucial question. What exactly is health? I mean, is it just not being sick? Just avoiding a cough or a fever? Well, according to the World Health Organization and classical medical philosophies, it's actually much more than that. It's a deep, dynamic state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being that's happening inside you right now. To grasp this massive topic, here's our clear roadmap for the explainer today. We'll be defining health and disease, looking at the dynamics of disease, exploring epidemiology and population science, discussing nutrition and family planning, and finally, diving into environmental and community health. Let's get moving. We'll begin right at the center of the circle, Section 1, defining health and disease. Specifically, we're looking at the individual self. Now, there's a fascinating philosophical split in how we view the human body. Modern medicine often focuses heavily on pathology, the actual structural, physical changes in the body. But contrast that with the homeopathic view, which is rooted in Samuel Hahnemann's organon of medicine. This approach focuses on a dynamic, invisible life energy called the vital force. It treats disease not just as a physical breakdown, but as a functional disturbance that requires a highly individualized approach. To really wrap our heads around that homeopathic perspective, we just need to compare health and disease across a few key features. According to Hahnemann, when you're healthy, your vital force is perfectly balanced, your mind is calm, and symptoms, they're completely absent. But disease is a dynamic disturbance. The vital force gets thrown off, functions are altered, the mind and body become dysfunctional, and, crucially, symptoms appear. In fact, those symptoms are the only expression of that internal disease. Okay, let's move right into Section 2, the dynamics of disease, and see how these individual illnesses actually spread to others. When we talk about communicable diseases, think about tuberculosis or COVID-19, they don't just magically appear out of nowhere. No way. They absolutely must complete an exact 6-step chain of infection. An infectious agent leaves its reservoir, travels via a specific mode of transmission, finds a portal of entry, and finally infects a susceptible host. It is a precise sequence. And the beauty of knowing this, if we can break literally just one link, using personal hygiene, vaccines, or sanitation, we stop the disease dead in its tracks. On the flip side, non-communicable diseases, or NCDs, operate very differently. They don't spread from person to person. Instead, things like heart disease, diabetes, and cancer are chronic. They're slow burners. What's absolutely vital to take away here is that while you obviously can't change things like your age or genetics, these diseases are largely driven by modifiable risks. Unhealthy diets, physical inactivity, tobacco use, these are daily choices that are actively fueling massive global health burdens. Let's zoom out even further to the community level with Section 3, epidemiology and population science. So how do we understand diseases on a massive scale? Enter epidemiology. This is basically our public health detective tool. It's the scientific study of the distribution, meaning exactly who is getting sick, where and when, and the determinants, which are the biological, environmental, or social causes of those health events. This is the systematic method we use to track all those communicable and non-communicable diseases we just categorized so we can actually control them. And the most crucial point here is the epidemiological triad. Listen to this. A disease outbreak only ever occurs when 3 specific elements interact perfectly. You need the agent, which is the actual cause, the host, the susceptible human, and the environment, those external factors that bring them together. Public health is essentially the science of disrupting that exact triad. But wait, to accurately study the host part of that triad, that's us. We rely on demography. We aren't just counting people here. We're measuring vital statistics like birth rates, death rates, and migration to understand the size, structure, and distribution of populations over time. Honestly, you simply cannot plan a functional healthcare system if you don't know who actually makes up your population.
The crazy thing is, populations actually change pretty predictably. Tracking how a nation moves through the 4 stages of demographic transition is absolutely essential. They start in stage 1 with high birth and death rates. Then, as health improves, death rates drop, but birth rates stay high. Eventually, both decline, leading to stage 4, a stable population with low birth and low death rates. Knowing exactly which stage a country is in tells officials where to put their resources. Like, do we build more pediatric clinics for a booming young population or geriatric care facilities for an aging one?
Let's turn to Section 4, Nutrition and Family Planning. We're looking at the primary preventative shields for these massive populations. Nutrition is quite literally our first line of defense. A balanced diet needs a precise mix of macronutrients, your carbs, proteins, and fats that give you energy and build tissue, plus micronutrients, those vitamins and minerals that regulate your bodily functions. When this balance fails, things go wrong. We see malnutrition. That could be undernutrition, leading to devastating things like kwashiorkor, or it could be overnutrition, leading to obesity and those non-communicable diseases we talked about earlier.
Right alongside proper nutrition is family planning. This is a massive public health intervention. It's all about empowering individuals and couples to anticipate and attain their desired number of children and regulate the spacing and timing of those births. Why does this matter so much? Because it directly reduces maternal and infant mortality, improves overall child health, and safely manages that population growth we were just tracking. Finally, we expand to our ultimate macro level in Section 5, environmental and community health. Let's look at the broader systems surrounding us. The World Health Organization is super clear on this. Our health is deeply dictated by a triad of environmental factors. You've got the physical environment, like air, water, and climate, the biological environment, meaning plants, animals, and microorganisms, and, of course, the social environment, our culture, lifestyle, and socioeconomic conditions. All 3 of these are interacting constantly to shape our collective well-being. But when we fail to maintain environmental sanitation, hazards inevitably pop up. Air pollution from vehicles causes respiratory issues. Noise pollution from traffic causes severe stress and hearing loss. And this is a big one. Water pollution from sewage creates direct pathways for severe communicable diseases like cholera to absolutely decimate a community. To fight back against these hazards, we establish community health care. Think of it as a protective umbrella, providing targeted care for our most vulnerable life stages: obstetrics for pregnant women, pediatrics for children, and geriatrics for the elderly. It even extends to occupational health at our jobs, putting safety protocols in place to protect workers from physical, chemical, and psychological hazards. Across all these fields, public health basically relies on 3 distinct levels of prevention. Primary prevention aims to stop a disease before it ever even starts. Think immunizations and health education. Secondary prevention is all about early diagnosis and screening so we can treat illnesses quickly. And then tertiary prevention focuses on rehabilitation and limiting disability after a disease has already run its course. Now, here's a really interesting piece of the puzzle: how homeopathy integrates into this massive system. Because it's highly cost-effective and safe, it plays a really strong supportive role in community medicine. It offers a preventative approach, especially through something called a genus epidemicus, which is a specific remedy chosen based on common symptoms to actually protect populations during an outbreak. Plus, it provides holistic, curative care for both acute and chronic conditions. So we've zoomed all the way from the internal vital force out to the complex web of global epidemiology and environmental health. Everything is interconnected. The health of the community starts with the health of the individual. So knowing how your diet, your lifestyle, and your environment all interact to create our public health landscape, what steps will you take today to improve our collective health? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. Keep learning and stay healthy.